Hey, this is Mark Poulton for Arcana Comics, and this is the first edition of Ask Arcana, where I'm taking questions from our readers off the message boards and through emails, and I'm giving answers at the end of the month. So, let's get started. Okay, our first question is from Dante, and it came through email. Dante asks, I have a question that I would like some help with. I've been working on a story for about 3 years, and I would like to try to turn it into a movie script or a comic book. Basically, how can I offer it to a comic company and present it to them as a viable story that would be great for them? Well, Dante, first thing you should do is hire an artist to draw about the first 5 pages, because if you're an unknown writer and you're coming to me with just a story idea, chances are I'm not going to read it. At the conventions and through submissions, we get tons of story ideas from aspiring writers, and if they don't have an artist attached to it, it's pretty much, a waste of our time to look for an artist for them. Of course, there's exceptions, like if a well-known writer came to us with this great story idea, then we'd obviously want to work with them. But for, up-and-coming writers, your best bet is to find your own artist, get them to draw the first 5 pages, a nice cover image, and present it to us then as a submission. Next up, we have 2 questions from Phil. Phil's first question is, what kind of comics is Arcana looking to put its logo on? Any particular themes or ideas you're keeping your eyes open for, and anything in particular Arcana isn't looking for? Well, Phil, if you look at our titles, I think you'll see a lot of our books have a supernatural element to them, but that's not what we're generally looking for. We're basically looking for quality books. When I look through submissions, I'm looking for something I wouldn't be embarrassed to put the Arcana logo on. I think every Arcana comic at one point will be someone's first Arcana comic, and I want them to have a nice impression of the company after reading that book. So I'm looking for stuff that's quality, good stories, good artwork. For me, artwork is key. Comic books is a visual medium, so I want great artwork, that brings me into the story. So basically, if you present a quality package to us, it's something that we'll take notice to. As far as anything that we're not looking for, we basically do limited series and graphic novels. So if you come to us with an ongoing series, Arcana's probably not the place for you. Other things, usually we don't go for period pieces, but we have made exceptions. Sundown, Arizona, for example, took place in the Old West, and that's probably my favorite Arcana book to date. But generally, quality wins out, and that's what we're looking for. I hope that answers your question. Phil's next question is, how is Arcana going to handle Diamond's new distribution minimums? Well, Diamond's new policy is something that's going to affect all the smaller indie companies. One thing that you'll probably see us doing, and maybe some of the other companies, is focusing more on trade paperbacks and graphic novels. And when we do individual comics, probably focus more on licensed properties. Here's a bit of an exclusive for you. We'll be announcing this soon, but we just acquired the rights to a bunch of the Sid and Marty Krofft titles. Land of the Lost, H&R Puffin Stuff, which I'm writing, and Sigmund and the Sea Monsters, so we're doing that. Obviously, Greatest American Heroes doing really well for us, so I think you'll see that as a trend for us in the future. Okay, on to the next question. This is from Jason. Jason has 2 questions. First one is, why doesn't Arcana start its own toy division and make its own toys? Well, Jason, toys isn't something Sean and I have really talked about. Obviously, I would love to have a Coney Waves figure. I'm sure Sean would love to have a Cade figure. He has that Cade Shakini. So that was like Arcana's first attempt at toys. But maybe further down the line, that's something we're going to do. One bit of merchandising that we are doing is we're working on a t-shirt line. It's actually been in the works since last July, and hopefully soon we'll unveil that with a brand new website and a whole line of Arcana t-shirts for you. Jason's next question is, why doesn't Arcana start its own movie division? Well, Jason, I'm sure you probably already heard about the Paradox movie. Sean actually was on the set in December for the wrap of the film. He executive produced it. Arcana's also, besides just doing comics, we have the studio side, and we're doing work for other film studios. Steve and Dex, who work on Coney Waves with me, they just finished a project for Sony, and Sean and I are working on a couple smaller projects right now, one of which is a how-to instructional video for comic books that we hope to sell for DVD distribution, and another one is we're doing a Velvet Rope online series where Velvet will introduce short horror films. So it's something that we're working on, and hopefully you'll hear more about it in the future. Okay, the next set of questions is from the one and only Jimmy D. First question is, where's 100 Girls Volume 2? That's a great question. It's something everyone's anticipating. I don't know an exact date for it, but I've talked to Adam about it, and Adam says Sylvia definitely will be back. So, all right, Jimmy D had a second question, and it's, are there any crossovers in the works that you can tease us with? Well, Jimmy, there's probably no crossovers that you don't already know, being that you're Arcana's #1 fan and historian, but we have Vampire Diva and Coney Waves for Free Comic Book Day. That's going to be an 8-page teaser that leads into the full book later this year. Then there's Evangeline vs. Coney Waves, where Rob Liefeld's fallen angel character, Evangeline, battles it out with a possessed Coney Waves. That comes out this summer, and it's a book I'm definitely looking forward to, having grown up a Liefeld fan, and Evangeline being one of my favorite titles. Also in the works, we have the War of the Independence series, which includes a bunch of crossovers. The one-shots that we're doing, I know there's a Coney Waves Public Enemy, Orion the Hunter one. I know Cade's involved in one of the one-shots, Shadow Flame. I believe Ezra's even involved in one. So eventually, somewhere down the line, we'll see all these great titles. But what if you had your choice, what team-ups would you like to see? Maybe that's something we should start on the forum. Would you like to see, Cade and Coney team up, or Gearhead and Ezra, whatever? We'll start up a thread and get a discussion going on the forums. Last question from Jimmy D. Will Ezra ever return? I miss my sweet gothic huntress. I would love to see her and Coney mix it up WWE style. Great question, Jimmy. First off, Coney Waves would wipe the floor with Ezra. I'm just telling it like it is. Sorry, Sean. But as far as Ezra returning, I don't have any inside information, but I would say it's highly likely. I just don't see her staying gone forever. She's one of the flagship titles for Arcana, and is really popular, and not just in her own series, but she's a big part of the Cade series, so I would definitely think she'll make a return somewhere down the line. And we have one more question, and that's from Doug. And Doug asks, are you guys heading to San Diego Comic-Con? Absolutely. Last year we had a great turnout. We had Don Bluth, William Catt, and Robert Culp at our booths. This year we're looking to have a bunch of more celebrity guests and surprises in store. Hopefully we'll have Wacom with us again. And just looking forward to having a great time there. So that's it for this edition of Ask Arcana. I'll be back at the end of March for more. Keep your questions coming. Submit them on the forum or email me at mark@arcanacomics.com. Thanks.